My name's Erin. I'm 20. I'm a Quaker from the north of Scotland. And before I start, I'd also like to say that the nature of Quakerism encourages individual reflection and interpretation. So I'm speaking from my interpretation of Quakerism, and will mostly be referring to Quakers in Britain, because Quakerism differs so much around the world, and I've only experienced British Quakerism. So yeah. So we know that the climate crisis is caused by humans, primarily colonial humans, who have created and perpetuated and enforced an unjust way of living, which is still now based on colonial values. And it's primarily us, the post-colonial humans, that are driving the impact of the climate crisis and the suffering that it's going to cause to our planet and the humans and just any life on our planet. And Quakers have long fought for equality. It was originally a branch off from Christianity, because the belief was that everybody has the ability to access God or the light or your morality, whatever you want to call it. And it came from that belief of everybody's equal, everybody has that equal ability. And we believe that the earth and its resources are not there for us to dispose of at will. And we know that our undeniable power over nature must be used with responsibility and with reverence for life. And the fact that the lifestyle and systems that primarily those in the global north are responsible for, which are causing a disproportionate suffering to those who have contributed the least to the climate crisis, it means that many Quakers are involved in the work for climate justice because of this inequality and the way it's happening. And being a Quaker has strengthened a love and respect for our world and everything that's in it in me, but it's also instilled in me a knowledge of our individual and collective power and our responsibility to make a change. And there's a quote that I'd like to read out that's often read out in meetings. And it says, "Respect the laws of the state, but let your first loyalty be to God's purpose. If you feel impelled by a strong conviction to break the law, search your conscience deeply. Ask your meeting for the prayerful support, which will give you the strength as the right way becomes clear." And I remember my mom telling me this story about how these old Quakers broke into a base where they test Trident submarines in Scotland. They unplugged all the technology and threw it out into the loch. And yeah, I just remember feeling that's what that quote means. Like, if you truly believe in something, then and you have a duty to stand up for it. And I feel like I remember knowing that there's no difference between me and them. And if there's something that I believe in that way, then I have to stand up for it. If not me, then who will? And so hearing these stories and about having to stand up for what you believe in and having that prioritized in the Quaker community, and knowing that I'd get support and the emphasis on discerning for yourself what you have to stand up for, it's all led me towards environmental justice work, starting with local school strikes. And more recently, I've been working with local groups like Transition Towns, and I'm really enjoying that, and feeling like that's where I like to put my effort into. But I'm still on a path of finding out where my strengths are and what I could contribute to the work for climate justice. But I do know that I have to take part in it. And I don't want to claim that as an organisation, Quakers are always acting in line with their responsibility. And we, as Quakers, we need to continue the work we do and more if we want to limit the impacts of the climate crisis as much as possible at this point in time. However, on an individual level, at least for me, Quakerism has strengthened and supported my acknowledgement of the responsibility that I have to stand up for what's right, regardless of the law or society. And I know my talk was short, but I only want to say what's really relevant and not repeat points, because I feel like lots of us will have interconnected beliefs. So these are what I thought were the main points for me. But there are definitely things I take for granted as I've grown up as a Quaker that other people might not be so clear on. So yeah, feel free to ask any questions during the Q&A, and I'll do my best to answer. But yeah, excited to hear what everyone else has to say.